In this episode, the curious case of the intermittent fasting vegan.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome everyone to episode 216, of the Daily Mother Swole. Front double bicepticons, Optimus gains right here. Welcome to episode 216 of the Daily Swole. Today's episode is titled The Curious Tale of the Intermittent Fasting Vegan. Been having a lot of questions about intermittent fasting lately. So this is mostly going to be about the intermittent fasting, but it's going to be the concept of these different things about intermittent fasting, veganism, vegetarianism, doing what you see on Instagram and all this stuff. It's going to be about a bunch of different topics, what you hear and what is right for you. Okay, so let me just get the angle. I don't want you to be offset. This looks good. This looks nice. Looks right and tight. Let's jump into it. All right, so welcome to episode 216, The Curious Tale of the Intermittent Fasting Vegan. A lot of you are going to see on the Facebookles, on the Instagramlies, on Snapchat, on the interwebs and such, you're going to see all this different stuff about intermittent fasting, about you can still build muscle being a vegan, don't, be harmful to animals and all that. That's all fine. I'm not talking about the moral issues of eating meat. I'm not talking about any morality. There's no morality with intermittent fasting. But let's talk about human beings. I'm not going to talk about whether or not it's good to eat beef in this episode. So sorry to break your freaking heart, but I don't want you hanging on by a thread like, is he going to tell me to eat kale and spinach the rest of my life and legumes? No, I'm not going to tell you that because I am not a vegan and I don't criticize those that are. I question the purpose and if it's really, really, really the right way. And of course, again, I'm not saying that animals are treated properly in society. The meat industry and the food industry is jacked. It's messed up. It's fucked up. I don't think anyone is going to deny that it's a real big fucking mess. But this is not that conversation. So that's another topic. And that's a whole conversation. That's a whole other discussion. And we can even continue that a little bit more in premium right after. So everyone, this is the main channel. Premium, Swolenormous Premium, you can access it by signing up today on my Facebook page. You can click sign up or go to Swolenormous.com to sign up for Premium. We go in depth into every single episode, apply it, get that conversation going, accountability meetings, exercise, nutrition, private videos for everyone that's interested. $9.99 a month, super affordable, super awesome, and it just keeps growing, getting better and better. So highly, highly recommend it. Don't wait, jump on that shit, because if you like this information and you like this kind of access, imagine more access, getting better information honed and crafted more to your lifestyle. You get freaking everyday Q&As, exercise demos, nutrition demos, breakdowns, accountability, a group of like-minded individuals that will help you get to your goals. So if you fall off the wagon a lot, it's a good time of year. It's a good time of year to get some kind of adhesion and get some kind of group that's going to support you and help you have a place for you to go. Have a club, have a group, an elite group of serious people that are, there for you and that have the same goals, especially this time of year with the holidays and everyone falling off and trying to get back on. So highly recommended, Swolenormous.com. Sign up for Get Premium today. These different styles of eating, let's back up a couple freaking million years. Talk about human beings. Let's talk about what humans really are. We're hunters and gatherers. We're meant and we're able to digest meat. We're able to digest things like vegetables, fiber, carbs, eat fruit. Hunting and gathering, if you don't know what that means, I think there's a big disconnect with what people actually think human beings are meant to do, and I'll tell you why. We'll talk about intermittent fasting. We'll talk a little bit about veganism. Again, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. I support you being happy and healthy and living your life the way you deem fit. So that's fine. Right there in itself, that's enough right there. That should eliminate 99% of the hate mail and messages. There's a couple reasons I think there's a lot of issue and a lot of like friction with the concept of what human beings should eat. We're hunters and gatherers. We're meant to hunt animals. You don't hunt trees. You hunt animals and you gather nuts. You gather roots and berries and things that you can actually pick in out of the ground, vegetables, potatoes, fruit from the trees. You're going to hunt buffalo. You're going to hunt dinosaurs, whatever the hell it is. You're going to hunt things in nature, right? You hunt them, you kill them, you bring them back. One of the things with nature and how we've come about is that when we used to hunt things, human beings used to exercise to hunt. You used to have to go maybe miles to get to the plains on horseback or walking. You used to have to throw 100 fucking spears into a buffalo's back. Then, after hours of bleeding it out slowly, you had to either drag like a 2-ton animal. You had to cut off the parts that were important. Usually were everything. You saved every last thing you could. You had to bring it back all those miles to your camp where you dried it out and you ate it, or you turned to jerky, but you ate it before it rotted, so it was fresh. This animal was eating grass. This animal was getting exercise. This animal was in the wild. You exercised a lot until you killed it, and that animal exercised a lot and ate healthy, natural things until you killed it. So it had its life cycle. Survival of the fittest, the carnivore, the strongest, the smartest survived, and it's just that's what nature does. No one complains about other animals killing other animals, and we think that we're higher than an animal. No, we're an animal that can process and communicate differently. We're still fucking animals, first off. We're still animals. We're not different. Really. We're not. It's not like all of a sudden, I have a face and I have an iPhone. I'm no longer an animal. I'm better. I can make decisions. Yeah, you can make decisions. It doesn't mean you're meant to change millions of years of evolution just because you didn't have a thought in your head. Okay? It doesn't mean that it's not healthy to be a vegan. It doesn't mean it's healthy to eat a shit ton of meat. Everyone's different too. People smoke every day and don't get lung cancer. Some people get lung cancer and never smoke. So it really comes also down to the individual. Some people can get away with it. Some people cannot. Right? Agreed. I mean, you cannot argue these facts. Some people can do things that other people can't. And that's straight up. Intermittent fasting, people didn't eat all the time back then. You didn't have a Publix, you didn't have a Walmart, you didn't have refrigeration. So you had to kill and eat what you could eat. So you went long periods without eating and gathering and snacking, and then you went small periods of engorging and eating in excess. Animal fats and protein and whatever you got, the organs, you ate everything. You turned the other things into shoes. We have a little stomach left over. Let's make slippers for Junior. You used everything. You used the tusks and the bones for weapons. You used everything back then, okay? So you use the items. And again, it's survival of the fittest. It's Darwin. It's natural selection. The weak ones die. The strong ones survive. And the human beings are meant to digest meat. We're able to digest meat, which is why we can eat meat. It's on that point alone, it's like, wow, we're able to digest meat. We're designed to digest meat. Let's never eat that. It just doesn't make sense, right? And again, I'm not saying to eat that in excess. I'm not saying to eat, only vegetables and stuff, but it's, there's the science behind it. There's a common sense evolution. Look at common sense. Look at common sense when you're looking at these topics. A lot of these things are brought into the mainstream as a fad. They're brought in as a fad. It's popularized to eliminate meat. It's popular now to have a cause. Every time something happens in the fucking news, it's got a hashtag and everyone changes their profile picture to put a different color up and, let's put a flag of France or let's put, a rainbow flag or let's do this. I mean, it doesn't change anything. That's the sad part. Everyone's got a cause. And, something bad happened. People died. Let's make a hashtag for it. Hashtag save this. Hashtag save that. It's a load of crap. People don't want to get involved. People don't want to actually do something. They throw up a couple words on a Instagram picture and they feel better about their conscience. They can go back to watching Netflix. Really, that's what it is. Don't tell me that it makes a difference because it doesn't. It just spreads the news faster and then people go back to not giving a shit 24 hours later. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that's the fact because people don't really talk about tragedies anymore. People don't really talk about 9/11. There are very few people in the world that actually give a shit about what happened 15 or 16 years ago. And I'm telling you, it's the families of people that died. It's the families of firefighters and people that suffered. It's maybe some people that have, even people in New York City, it's like a distant memory. Like you push it off. People get over tragedies. People forget. 9/11, never forget. Yeah, people did like a few years later. They really did. People that are in the thick of it, of course, are going to have more scarred memories. And again, I'm not saying, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm saying people forget and people move on. So when you have these causes and fads and things that are popular, it gets out of control sometimes. CrossFit, for example, veganism, for example. Those are extremes. Those are extremes that have some good concepts and some good emotion behind it. And people are looking for something to follow, like religion. People are looking for, a higher power. They're looking for a messiah. They're looking for something. And they find it in these workouts or these diet plans or these, movements. They find it. And everyone needs some comfort. Everyone needs an escape. So I get it. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it could be really catastrophic, but it's not always a bad thing. When you have something like intermittent fasting, not for women, because if you think about it, and this is on an evolution scale, and just because of hormone balance, it's not ideal for women because women have more delicate hormone balance than men. And women were always meant to bear children and stay at home and nest and nurture. So they need food, they need regular nutrition. Guys, males, were out hunting, so they went long periods without eating. And intermittent fasting is more of a male-built nutritional plan. I'm not saying a woman can't get away with intermittent fasting. I would just be very careful, and I would do a lot of research because a lot of research shows that it's not ideal for women just because of the hormone balance and how women work. So intermittent fasting, is it good? It can be. It can be. I do it sometimes just because I'm busy in the morning. I'm teaching yoga, and then I'm here, and then I just don't eat. So I'm like, oh, shit, I'll eat till later. So I kind of do it by accident. I don't do it regularly because for me, when I do it for 3, 4, 5 days in a row, I get flat and I don't like it after a while. Once in a while, every couple of days, it happens. It's happening today a little bit. I had a banana or two, and now I'm just drinking coffee. So it'll happen a little bit, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but I don't do it regularly. One of the things with intermittent fasting is it can lead to triggers. You can go all day without eating, and then you're like, oh, I'll make up for the calories in the evening. I'll just eat whatever I want. Or you'll just be like, oh, I'll eat a lot of it, and I can just enjoy. So then you end up binge eating. You end up eating too many calories. You could gain weight intermittent fasting. You can gain weight. You still need to keep within those ranges. Just because you didn't eat all day doesn't mean you get to eat until you feel sick. Doesn't mean you get to eat garbage. Doesn't mean you get to eat it. Oh, I didn't eat all day. I get to eat a pizza. No, you still need your protein, your carbs, and it's hard to eat a lot of those calories in a short period of time. But that's what you need to do. So a lot of times it can lead to eating junkier food to make up for your calories. It can lead to that binge style where you're starving, you just eat everything, you make worse decisions, and it can lead to triggers. Some of you have triggers where if you have a little bit of junk food, you go down the rail, and for the next couple of weeks, you're eating like shit. So if you're one of those addictive personalities where you can go down the rails and lead to those things via those triggers, then you got to be careful. You have to be careful. You can't be suscepting yourself or make yourself susceptible to those type of triggers with intermittent fasting. It might not be the best thing for you. So I don't personally like it long term, but you can always try it. And if you don't like it, you don't do it anymore. But you can do it for a couple weeks. But you have to give it a couple weeks of a go to see if it really works. Another thing, when coming back, last point I want to make about veganism is the association, these fads and these things that are popularized, the association of animals with human beings. And I'm not getting into whether animals have souls and this, that, and the other, but every movie that you watch, every Disney movie, every cartoon movie is a mouse, is a bear. Winnie the Pooh is like a giraffe, a Pokey, and I don't know what the fuck Gumby was. But you have Ninja Turtles, and you have all these animals that have faces and names. They talk like humans, which in reality they don't. And we personify animals and creatures of a lower stature. Now, I might get some flack with, I'm saying lower stature. I don't mean that they're less important, but at the same time, human beings were better. We're more evolved. We are higher ranking. We won. We won a little bit more than a parrot, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? I don't think anyone is going to deny in a court of law or any realistic, nature that someone's like, ooh, that parrot is life and that human being is life. Let's kill the human being and save the parrot. No, you're going to save the human being, okay? Because we have a higher conscious. We are able to make decisions. We are able to make moral decisions. That's the beauty. We are able to make those decisions for the positive and the negative. But the personification of animals, Lion King, just fucking Beauty and the Beast, we talk to teapots and candlesticks. I mean, you personify these things that aren't personifiable. Is that even a fucking word? I don't even care to think that hard about it. We are giving personalities and names and language, English language, to creatures that don't have it. So we are imagining that we're eating a person. and we almost look at it as cannibalistic. We have animals as pets, and that's fine. I'm not saying eat canines and eat dogs, but it doesn't create this wrong. This is wrong. You should never do it. It doesn't do that. I mean, it seems weird because we don't have to hunt anymore, because we can go and just buy that. It almost seems like, oh, because it's so easy, we should just not do it. We can just get it. Yeah, but if that wasn't the case, we would be out hunting for it. Trust me, if we had to grow everything and eat everything ourselves, trust me, like 99.9% of vegans would not be vegan because it'd be too hard to get your calories in and to grow everything. And that's why people freaking eat meat, because the animals are eating grass and stuff. You go out and hunt the animal because you can't grow everything in every element regularly with the weather and inclement weather and bugs and bacteria and things eating the plants. You can't get all your nutrition just off scraping yourself many times. It's too challenging. Let's say it was a free-for-all. There were no supermarkets. You had to do it all yourself. There'd be very few vegans, yo. There'd be very few because you wouldn't get your nutrients in. You'd die. It'd be too hard to grow everything with the inclement weather, and you wouldn't have access to supermarkets. You would have to grow everything, and not everything grows locally. It's seasonal. So in certain times of the year in Florida, you wouldn't be able to get everything all the time. And, the weaker would die out, and those that maybe ate that certain way that could handle missing certain nutrients would survive, and it would be, a cleansing. It would be an evolution. It would be survival of the fittest again. But human beings are designed to eat meat. That's why we can eat meat. Whether or not you should be eating it every single day, 3 meals a day, that's up for a whole different debate, and that's not the debate I'm making. I'm talking about the fad and the movement style of our society, the cause, the doing something for a purpose, because most of you and most people watching this, most people out there don't have a purpose in their life. They have a job, they're going through miserable, and they're not happy. So they have to find it somewhere else. They have to escape their life. I encourage you, as always, not to escape your life. Find something you enjoy so you're living your life. If you have to escape, you're going to look for these stupid fucking causes to get behind, to give yourself some purpose. And that's dangerous because you're still going to be miserable. You're still going to be miserable and empty because you don't really believe in it. It's not really you. You're looking for something. You're looking for something to make you happy. You're looking for something to fulfill you. And if you find it, that's great. But a lot of people, that's why you forget. Because you get behind something and then that's gone. It's like, all right, next. You're looking. People are searching. And it's sad a little bit, but it's also a positive thing that you can find something out there. You just got to do more things that make you happy. You got to do things that make you happy. And that's a curious tale of the intermittent fasting vegan. Very philosophical story and very philosophical concept. So take that to heart. Think about it. Do things that make you happy. Do things that give you passion. And you will be searching for escape and searching for these causes and things that don't really mean a lot to you. And you'll make more meaningful things with what you're passionate about to share with the world. So thank you for joining me for episode 216. Make sure you check out the link and the post that's pinned to the top of my Facebook page for the last 2 weeks. These are available Swolenormous gear. Make sure you jump on now before they are gone. Tees, tanks, different colors, women's gear, sweatshirts, mugs, little stickers for your iPad. Good shit. And also check out my YouTube channel, Swolenormous. Also, Instagram, got some great posts today and coming up. New DWG. Remember, driving while gaining. I'm telling you, driving while gaining. You guys can ask questions here. You guys can ask me questions on Instagram messages. You can message me on from Instagram stories. You can message me on Snapchat. You can actually send me a message, and I encourage you to, because a lot of people are. Ask me questions, and you will be featured on DWG. It might not be tomorrow, but I will make sure your question gets featured. And pretty much, I'm in traffic, I'm taking my pre-workout, and I freak out in the car, and I answer a question. Maybe I'll start asking multiple questions in an episode if I keep on getting so many. But right now, it's like a question per episode. I give you a little shout out. I put your information, whether it's your Snap or your Instagram, if you want that, in the description. If you don't, you could always let me know. But ask me a question, anything fitness related, and I'll rage on the car. DWG episode 108 is on my YouTube channel right now, youtube.com/Swolenormous. And I'll see everyone tomorrow for episode 217 of The Daily Mother. Come on. It's Swole. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow. Later.